Hi everyone, in today's video I'm going to be drawing this blue and violet pansy using colored pencils. Here you can see me getting started using a really sharp white polychromos pencil to indent the paper where I want some bright highlights or some sharp white edges around the edges of these petals. It's going to help keep a nice separation between the darker blue violet petals and the lighter petals. And now I'm just getting started by blocking in this top area. I was using Delft blue from Polychromos, also blue violet. It's using blue violet from Polychromos and violet blue from Prismacolor, so that did get a little bit confusing with this one. Now I am using a luminance pencil, that's the blue denims, and that was one of the darker values that I used in this drawing for these veins, just getting everything blocked in and then back to that Delft blue. I like the combination of those pencils. The Delft blue Polychromos gives me a nice sharp line. I can create nice thin lines with that, and then I can come through with this blue denims and create nice thick dark lines as well. And now I'm starting to fill in some of the lighter areas with the smalt from Holbein. This was the only pencil I used from Holbein for this drawing, but it was a really great color. It was the exact color that I wanted for some of these lighter mid-tones. And then you saw me using the violet blue from Prismacolor, also Imperial blue. And just working back and forth one more time, overlapping these colors together. I wanted some really nice, even blending, some nice transitions, and getting everything nice and blocked in before I come through and blend out with solvent. And here I'm using a Dynasty No. 4 flat brush, and I have some Utrecht Nude odorless paint thinner on that brush, and you can see how it's just really dissolving the binders that hold that pigment together, and it releases the pigment, creates a really nice smooth finish. Gets rid of any graininess. Makes everything look really nice and painterly. And now I can come through and add a second layer of pencils. And you can see me here using my Prismacolor black to darken up those veins. And then I'm going to go over that with some of the dark blues. Just want it to look like a really dark blue, so I mixed some black in there. And back and forth with some of the same colors. For the second layers, I'm always deciding, which values do I want to darken up? What do I want to lighten? Do I need to smooth any transitions? I'm also adding details and making sure I have some really nice crisp edges. You can see that white edge right at the top of that petal. That's one of those places that at the very beginning of the video, when I was using that sharp white Polychromos to indent the paper, that's what that looks like. And you'll see a few more of those edges pop up here. I'll try to point those out. I wanted a really nice dark center. I think that helps give some shape here. And just it's a back and forth process to get everything smoothed out exactly how I want it. Now I'm working with the dark cadmium yellow from Polychromos to block in the pattern around the center here as I start to work on this second petal. Working back and forth with the Delft blue and the dark cadmium yellow. Once you get the pattern established, it really does help you be able to see everything. A lot of times these drawings are a little bit like a puzzle, and once you have a few pieces in place, everything else seems to come together. And I'm just going to work through this petal in the exact same way, blocking in these veins. And then working through with the mid-tone colors. And blending everything out with the solvent. And then adding my second layers. Okay, this next petal was a little bit unusual. I just lightly added some veins using the smalt from Holbein and then blended over with the white from Prismacolor, and I just burnished that really hard and smoothed it out. I didn't use any solvent on that petal, and it created a nice soft look. And now here I'm back to a similar petal to those main two. These veins that I'm drawing in, those really were key to this pansy. I mean, all pansies are going to have a lot of these veins, but this one in particular, it was really important to make those look prominent. So I spent a lot of time working on those. I didn't try to copy my reference image exactly, I just tried to come close. You're seeing me bring in an ultramarine violet from Luminance, and then some of that violet blue from Prismacolor. And then this light area around the edge. And once again, blending everything with the solvent. That violet blue really brightened up more than I wanted it to, so you'll see me tone that down after everything dries. I'll come through with my second layers and I'll tone down the violet blue quite a bit. It's also brightening this edge some with the electric eraser, pulling up some bits of color so I can come back over with the white pencil. Wanted it to be lighter than it was. Still didn't get it quite back to where exactly I wanted it to be, but I think it ended up being fine. Most of the time when I'm drawing, there are going to be places that aren't perfect, and it is really important that you learn to fix what you can and then move on. If you try to be too much of a perfectionist with this process, it's going to be difficult to complete a drawing. working with my Delft blue here again. That was one of my favorite pencils for this particular piece. And also some blue violet. See me using that scrubber brush just to blend everything out one last time. There was no solvent on that brush, it was just a dry brush. And one last big petal here. Going through the same steps one more time. And finishing up the center with some bronze from Prismacolor. Putting the final finishing touches using that Delft blue. A little bit of red around the edges of the yellow patterning. And once again, here is my finished drawing. If you want to watch the full tutorial, that is available now over on Patreon. And otherwise, I will see you back here on YouTube for another video. Bye, everybody.